guys, how's it going? Welcome to week 2 of Camp Nanowrimo. Today is Wednesday the 3rd. It is 6 a.m., still dark outside, but I woke up early again today. I'm getting pretty good at that. I'm really proud of myself. But I woke up early so I could get a little bit of writing done before work. I think this vlog is going to end up being a little bit longer because I have 7 whole days to vlog. So enough yapping, let's get to writing. Alright, it is now 7 o'clock, it is time to leave for work. That was incredibly successful. I wrote a total of 1,177 words, which is so much faster than I usually write, so I'm really proud of myself there. And that brings this month's total so far to 3,437 words. So still on track, still feeling good for day 3. So yeah, I guess that is all for this morning. I will see you tomorrow in 1 second. Alright, today is Friday, day 5 of NaNoWriMo. I forgot to film yesterday, but I will update you quickly on my stats. On Thursday, I wrote 842 words and brought my total to 4,280. And today, Friday, I wrote 1,191 words, which brings my total to 5,471 for the month. So still going strong, still on track, still having fun. In the last couple days, some of the randomized things that I tried is I was watching wrestling while I wrote, and I decided to try to guess the outcome of the matches, and if I got it right, something really good would happen to the main character, and if I got it wrong, something bad would happen. So at one point, I guessed the outcome of the match right, and the main character finally caught a wild boar that she had been hunting in a couple scenes earlier. And then I kind of guessed a match wrong, but not really. There was interference and it was a no contest disqualification. So I didn't really get it wrong, but I didn't get it right. So I decided that the fair thing to do would have the main character's house almost catch fire. Just enough to remind her not to keep cloths too close to the fire, but not enough to actually cause any damage. So far in the story, I have introduced both the barbarian and the healer, and they have now met. The barbarian decided that one of her bruises was suspicious and thought that she had internal bleeding. I guess she's also a bit of a hypochondriac. Who knows? And the healer checked her out and calmed her fears. I think they're gonna end up being friends. They seem to be getting along so far, but who knows? Not me. I'm pantsing. So far, my barbarian has a habit of kind of embarrassing herself, so I decided that for their first one-on-one interaction, I would roll a d10 to find out on a scale of 1 to 10 how much she embarrassed herself, and she ended up getting a 7. Nothing like unforgivably embarrassing, but still enough to kind of walk away with your face a little red. Unfortunately, I ended today's writing at the end of a scene. Usually I like to at least start a couple lines of the next scene so that when I jump in the next day, I know where I'm starting at, and that's just what I do with normal writing anyways. I'd always just kind of like to not start with a blank slate. But that's not what I did this time, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do tomorrow. But that is something to think about tomorrow, because we don't think of the future here during our pantsing palooza. So that is all for today. I will check in tomorrow in 1 second. Alright, today is Saturday, day 6 of Camp NaNowrimo. Like I said in the last clip, I don't know what scene I'm gonna be writing today because I ended at the end of the scene. So I have my handy dandy generator here. This is on 7thsanctum.com. This one is their writing challenge generator. So you can do random complexity or 1 to 5 elements. But since I'm just getting unstuck with where I'm going today, I'm just gonna do 1 element. And we're gonna generate, let's say, 5 challenges. I'm gonna do the same thing as before. I'm gonna generate 5 challenges and then pick which one kind of tickles my fancy. Generate challenges. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? So we have a character becomes curious during the story. During the story, a character is given a good talking to. During the story, a character inherits an unusual object. The story must have a nun at the end, and the story must involve an idol in it. Okay, you know what? I think I'm actually gonna do the second and third one because I have an idea of what the talking to could be, and inheriting an unusual object, that just seems really cool because there's so many cool objects. Actually, 1 second. Alright, so on rollforfantasy.com, by the way, rollforfantasy.com and fantasynamegenerators.com are the same site. They changed domains at one point, so half the stuff is on the old site, half the stuff is on the new site, but they're the same thing. So if I kind of switch the names up, that's why. But this one is specifically on rollforfantasy.com. It is the random loot generator. I was looking for just like an overall item generator, and I know that there is one somewhere, but I can't seem to remember what exactly it's called. Yes, Ripley, what are you doing? Ripley and I are using the random loot generator. Gonna be honest, this one is a little bit hard to understand. It's not just a click or randomize and it pops up. You have to like put in the overall value of the items you want and how much percent is gonna be coins, low rarity, medium rarity, and high rarity items. So as a loot generator, it's actually really, really cool. And you can also select like what category the items come from. So you can have like clothing, gems, general, weapons, tons of stuff like that. So as a loot generator, it's definitely super helpful. But for my purposes, it was honestly a little bit complicated, but that's okay. So because I want this to be a really cool item, I want to go with value 10,000. No coins, no low rarity items, no medium, 100% high rarity items. And I don't want guns, because guns don't exist in my novel. Generate loot. Alright, so one first-rate music box and one immaculate bottle of beer. You know what? I'm gonna go with both because why not? So somebody's gonna inherit a music box, and this bottle of beer is valued at almost 2,800 gold. So that is a dang good beer. Ripley, why are you in the way? Alright, so now let's figure out how the heck I'm gonna fit this in my story. I'll let you know. Done! I wrote 1,305 words today, which brings my Camp Nanowrimo total so far to 6,776 words. Honestly, I think one of the reasons that today was so successful is that, hi Spock, is that I was trying to find a way to work my prompt into the story, and because it was so out of left field, it took a little while to kind of build it into it. So I think that really helped beef up my word count. What I ended up doing is, for the character that needed a talking to, they went back to the cranky town healer, and she was making fun of the barbarian for being a hypochondriac, and the good healer, the other main character, told her off for it, and that was really fun, just like a fun interaction. And I was having such a hard time figuring out how to incorporate the music box and the immaculate bottle of beer. I figured it would make sense for the music box to be like a family heirloom, like a hand-me-down, and I don't know why somebody would keep an immaculate bottle of beer, but I realized I never actually said what my healer is researching. I just said that she's there for research and study. So I still don't know what she's researching, to be honest, but she said that there's a lot of like little pieces and stuff, so I'm basically stalling for time. But she said one area that she's studying is about how people connect with objects and like sometimes tie their souls to it. I don't know if this is gonna end up being necromancy or some weird immortality thing, or just, I don't know, materialisticism? I don't know, don't be so materialistic? No idea. But it was an excuse to kind of tie it in and throw items in there. So I decided that the music box did indeed belong to the barbarian. Hey, Comet. What you doing, ma'am? Oh, you're just gonna rest there. Okay. So I decided that the barbarian is gonna have a music box that was handed down through generations of her family, and I decided that the bottle of beer, a merchant sold her when she was a child because she was a tall kid, because she's tall, and they thought that she was older. But her mother said that beer was for adults, so she didn't drink it, and then she grew a little bit older and learned that alcohol gets better and like more like valuable as it ages, and then it's a couple more years until she realized that beer isn't one of those alcohols, but at this point she'd owned this bottle of beer for like 10 years, and it would just feel kind of weird to just open it and drink it or throw it out at this point. So she just carries it with her forever, and it's just something that she owns for no reason, and she's probably always gonna own. So that was just fun. I obviously want that to kind of come into play at some point, because I don't know, it would just be kind of weird and dumb to just throw that in and then never mention it again. Don't know how I'm gonna make that important. Who knows? I'll try to figure something out, but I have no idea so far, and I'm trying hard not to like think of ideas because I want this to be as like pantsy as possible. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. That's all I can really do. So I'm done writing for now. I'm gonna go give somebody some snuggles, and I will see you guys tomorrow in 1 second. Alright, it is now Sunday night, well technically Monday morning. It is 1:43 a.m. I just finished watching WrestleMania. It was so good. I cried multiple times. I cry when I get excited or really happy. Honestly, I don't cry that much when I get sad. I'll cry when I'm frustrated, if I'm like really frustrated, and then the fact that I'm frustrated makes me cry, and then the fact that I'm crying makes me frustrated, and then etc, etc. But honestly, I cry really easily when I'm happy. So like any time that somebody wins a big match, I just get very happy for them and I just cry. So that's a fun fact about me, is I watch wrestling and cry in my spare time. But what I decided to do is to do little word sprints every time there was like a promo package, because like I could half watch it and also write at the same time, because you know I watch WWE every single week. Like I don't need to be caught up, and because WrestleMania is just as much for the casual part-time fans as it is for people like me, there's a lot of recap that I don't necessarily need, so there's a lot of time to do little writing sprints, which was great. I actually ended up writing 1,151 words, which brought my total for Camp Nanowrimo so far to 7,927 words. I didn't end up using writing prompts today, so instead of doing a writing prompt today, I just decided to write the first thing that popped into my head, which was mashed potatoes. I was preparing some of my meals for the rest of the week, and I was making a lot of potatoes today, and I love potatoes, especially mashed potatoes, but I hate how friggin' long it takes to make potatoes. Anyways, that's what was on my mind, and I was eating potatoes while I was writing, so I decided that my main character, the barbarian, would be making potatoes. And then I just kind of went from there. Like I've said, the hardest part for me is getting started, because I have no idea where I'm going. Once I've written like 100, 200 or so words, I'm kind of in the groove and I can just go from there, but those first little bits are really hard. So I found this really helpful. I kind of just described potatoes, I let my character rant about potatoes for a minute, and then I decided, okay, the healer's gonna come visit and they're gonna have a conversation. And I find so far dialogue is the, I don't want to say easiest, the least difficult part for me to pants, because I think dialogue can evolve really naturally, whereas anything like plot related, because I don't have like specific milestones to reach, I have a hard time coming up with it. And as far as characters go, the characters aren't quite defined in my head enough because I haven't spent enough time with them, that I find that a little bit harder to kind of build on. But with dialogue, it's just, okay, say one thing, and then the next step is, okay, well, what would somebody reply to that? And then you have the next line, and then it's, okay, well, what would somebody reply to that? And then you have the next line. I don't know, it just kind of feeds off itself a lot easier, I find. So I feel like this might end up being a little more dialogue heavy than my books usually are, but we'll see. So like I said, it's almost 2 a.m. Unfortunately, I have to get up at 5 a.m. for work. It's almost not worth it. Like, I think it would make me more tired than just not sleeping. I don't think I'm gonna bother going to bed tonight. Like, there's really no point, which means that work tomorrow, or today, you know what I mean, is kind of gonna suck. I guess that means that this is a really great opportunity to write some more. So I guess I'll try to hit my Monday word count right now, and then I'll go to work, and then when I get home from work, I'll probably sleep, like right away, even though it'll be like only 5 p.m. Alright, I I've convinced myself I'm gonna write and stay up all night. Yup. Alright, it is now 3:49 a.m. I wrote 947 words, which brings my total to 8,872. So I'm still almost 900 words ahead of schedule, which is awesome. So my healer has asked the barbarian if she wants to join her on her new quest. She's still doing her research study and is going on to a bigger city to have more resources, etc. Still haven't figured out what she's researching, but again, problem for later. And she has offered to take the barbarian under her wing as an apprentice. Originally, my main reasoning behind that was, first of all, it's an excuse for them to be together and questing together and stuff. And because my barbarian is such a hypochondriac, I realized that she has a lot of like medical knowledge and just kind of like base knowledge about stuff like that. So that kind of made sense. And then I decided that that was kind of like a weaker reason and I wanted to add something else. But I didn't know what to add, so instead of stopping and thinking about it like I normally would and like maybe a more reasonable person would, I decided to just throw something in there. And in a later scene when the healer is alone with someone else and they're talking and she's kind of defending her choice of bringing Fief the Barbarian in as her apprentice and just saying, you know, how much potential she has and everything. And then as she's leaving, she's thinking to herself that she did mean everything she says and she does really think that Fief has potential and she does really think that she could teach her to be a good healer. And then she feels a little bit guilty that she hasn't been completely honest about the bigger reason why she's asking Fief to join her. Don't know what that reason is. We'll find out. And I know that I'm gonna live to regret this, and as the story kind of progresses and I have to actually, you know, write all of these details in, I'm probably gonna be very annoyed with myself. But for now, it's fun, and that's what matters. But yeah, it's not even really Monday morning yet, and I already have Monday's writing done, so I'm feeling great. Everything is good. I will check in tomorrow in 1 second. And now it is Tuesday, April 9th. I just finished writing for today. I got 1,083 words, which brings my total for the month to 9,955 words. So I'm almost a full day ahead of schedule, which feels great, and it's just a very successful time. Where I'm at in the story now, my barbarian and my healer had just left on their journey, and I couldn't decide kind of what their traveling would be like. First of all, I realized I didn't even know what season it was. I didn't know what the environment was, the climate, anything like that. So I decided, of course, to randomize it. First, I had to decide what season it was going to be, so I rolled a d4. I decided 1 for spring, 2 for summer, 3 for fall, and 4 for winter. I ended up rolling a 4, so it's apparently winter time. For environment, I took a 6-sided die, and I decided to label 1 through 6 what the environment would be: forest, swamp, grassland, desert/tundra, mountains, and water/islands. And apparently they're currently traveling through the grasslands. And then, just because why not, I rolled for the weather, and I rolled for sunny, rainy, windy, or snowy/strong rain, depending on what season it was and where they were. And today is apparently a sunny day for their travels. So I guess I'm closing out this week's vlog here. Overall, I found this week went a lot better than I expected. This pantsing project so far is still really fun, and I know that it's gonna get harder the further I get into my story, and I'm definitely not as satisfied with this story as I usually am with my other stories, and that might just be because I'm not like quite into it yet. I don't have the same attachment going into this story as I do with my other stories because I don't know this story yet, so I don't know what I'm getting attached to. But that being said, it's still really fun to write. But we're ending today on a good note, so that will be all for this vlog. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed these so you can stay up to date for the rest of the month. Every Wednesday I'm going to be posting another Camp Nanowrimo vlog. And of course, I'm still going to have my regular video every Saturday of other BookTube, AuthorTube related content. So stay tuned for that. And if you liked this video, please click the like button so I know. And feel free to comment down below telling me how your camp is going. And of course, if any of you guys are pantsers, feel free to leave any advice you have for me down below because I would welcome any of it. So I hope to see you next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!